Well, Ronnie, back in the Chargers Hoops TV studio, a lot more space than the last time we were around a microphone or a camera. Capacity crowd at the Kingborough Sports Centre Friday night, just gone for two huge games. Kylie's retirement, big push in the derby there, of course, against the Northwest Thunder. Finals hopes galore, a lot going on. It was a huge weekend of hoops.
Oh, it was a massive weekend of hoops, JB, and pretty much standing room only around near our commentary box area too, JB, but that is the magnificent beauty of our sport. You can cram everyone in and everyone can get to see a couple of fairy tales in the process of happening.
Massive games ahead. This is Chargers Hoops TV.
The penultimate round of the Coles Express NBL 1 South season rolled into town on Friday night as the Launceston Tornadoes came into town and tried to spoil the party for Kylie McCauley's farewell game in what was a great game of basketball, JB, and I tell you what, a packed house as well, as we mentioned in the opener. How did you see it play?
It was a huge game, Ronnie, no doubt about that. Of course, the farewell game for Chargers veteran, Chargers legend, Kylie McCauley, 215 games, and that was all she wrote for Kylie. And I tell you what, as you mentioned, Ronnie, one hell of a game going on there as well. The Chargers came out riding the energy of the home crowd. Again, a huge home crowd, the biggest home crowd this year by far, there's no question about that. And they broke out to a really nice lead early on, started building it through the first and second terms there. Of course, Shana Thompson hitting shots, Angie Tompkins hitting shots, Paige Bradley dominating as well, and they really had Launceston on the back foot, there's no doubt about that. Heading into the half, a 17-point lead for the Chargers, and you knew at some point the storm that is the Tornadoes was going to come through, and it did, and that came through. Kelsey Griffin and Keely Froling both had dominant games. Kelsey Griffin, huge, over 30 points, over 15 rebounds, really dominated this contest and really took hold of the game as it started to unfold. Things, a nice tussle there in the fourth term of the Chargers, started hitting basket after the basket, just trying to extend that lead. Unfortunately, they weren't able to keep their heads above the water. The Tornadoes came home strong, got the win. They managed to get over the top, 76-67 in the end, a massive credit to them. They go on to play finals, and unfortunately for Kylie, not the storybook ending that she would have liked.
Now, before we head to Dwayne Davies' interview, Hobart Chargers President Brett McKay came out onto the floor and presented Kylie with a nice little bottle of champagne and some flowers, and with great respects by both teams to put a guard of honour up at centre court, and Kylie walking through that and then pretty much doing a lap of honour. Took her forever to get around, but you can know why, because of all the attributes and contributions she's done for this sport. Everyone wanted to thank her and shake her hand, so tremendous respect was given by all the fans.
Post game, as we mentioned, we caught up with Dwayne Davey. Let's head to that interview now.
Yeah, look, really exciting to have such a big crowd. The biggest crowd we've had all season, and probably close to the best game we played all season, to be honest, except for maybe the last 4 minutes of the game where we just ran out of puff. So I guess for us, even though we've come away with a loss and we're disappointed with that, the turnaround from our first game to our last game, I think we lost by 40 points to this team the first time around. So to play like we did tonight with that energy and I guess the aggression was really pleasing, and it shows that the work that we've done has paid off. And what a way to send her off with such a big crowd and so much support. I think our team really needed Kylie this year, and she did a fantastic job of mentoring these young players, and I guess setting the tone from day one of pre-season about the expectations that this club has when you want to play at this level. And it took a while to get some traction with that, but the girls have really brought into that, and you can see the way they interact with Kylie that there's definitely a respect there and a love there that I think will last for a long time. And I think that impact is going to last for a long time on this team, and I think she's really done a great job of, I guess, providing the springboard and the foundation for them to now start heading back up the ladder and becoming a good team again. And I think right from the start we kind of knew that it was going to be a difficult season with the amount of youth we had, and I guess the lack of import players compared to other clubs. So we knew it was going to be tough, and that first half of the season was really tough. We were disappointed that we probably let a couple of games slip that we probably should have won. But we really turned a corner at that halfway point, and had some cultural sessions and stuff like that, which really, I guess, got us on the right track, and we really turned the corner in the way that we played and the style. And the growth, I guess, in the younger girls in that period really is what shifted the tide. As much as I'd like to have more wins on the board, it's been a really enjoyable year in terms of trying to teach these young girls and the progress that we've made. And even last night, the last session of the season, we've still got 18 girls rocking up to training as bubbly and as fired up as ever. So it's, I guess that's a tick for us in the way that we've sort of managed that, and we're really proud of that. So it's good for the future.
And after the game, we also caught up with retiree and legend Kylie McCauley.
A very emotional night for Kylie, but she certainly wasn't lost for words. Let's hear what she had to say.
Oh, it was such an incredible feeling, and I'd said to Dwayne, we had lunch today and I had a bit of a cry, and just said it's been an emotional lead up, and all what I hope for in this game is that we give our all and we're in it, and that's exactly what we did. Like, we led for probably 36 minutes of that game. And again, they've got some really, really quality players that really hurt us in the last few minutes, which is what they're there for. So it's so damn exciting though for what we have, coming up, and we don't have any of those players of that quality yet, and I hope, we can eventually attract them. I announced to the girls on Monday that I was officially retiring. I had been saying it all year, but none of them believed me.
I don't think anyone believed it.
I don't think people still believe me, but I am. I'm hanging up these boots. So all week it's been pretty emotional for me. I said to the girls on Monday, I don't want this week to be about me. I want it to be about us and our last game and trying to get that 5th win. But, they didn't listen to that. They made it all about me all week. So, yeah, they don't get rid of me that easy. I'll be rocking up at pre-season, making sure they're working hard. I might train a couple of times with them just to make sure I don't beat any of them on any of the sprints or anything. But, yeah, they don't get rid of me that easy. Just made some silly mistakes, missed some shots that we would normally miss. When it's quite tough out there when the pressure's on and you've got to make some shots in those last couple of minutes, and we missed those and we turned the ball over and they were able to score. I was in foul trouble again, so I wasn't able to really, push people around under the basket. But that's the life of basketball.
Whatever part of your home you want to improve, Clennett's Mitre 10 has everything you need to get the job done. A wide selection of indoor and outdoor plants and pots, paint for every style and every project, complete DIY kitchens and bathrooms, and all the tools you need for the job. The local Clennett's team know their huge range inside and out, so you'll get the right advice and the right product every time. Clennett's, mighty helpful Mitre 10.
And of course, Ronnie, the return derby in the men's game followed up next. Massive implications for both sides. Hobart looking to secure top spot, or at least the top 2. Meanwhile, for the Thunder, they were buying to hopefully have results go their way, crack into that top 8 and try and make finals. A lot to play for in this game. How'd you see it unfold?
Well, as you mentioned, JB, a lot of implications on both sides of the spectrum for both teams, and really it was neck for neck kind of start. Very low scoring affair in that first half. Both teams trying to find that upper edge, so to speak. But of course, Sam McDaniel, Jared Bairstow, Harry Froling, the big three came to the party and really kind of held glue for the Hobart Chargers. Meanwhile, it was Fabian Klusovic, Sean McDonald and Matt King really trying to steer the ship for the Thunder as well too. So come to half time, the Thunder up by 3, and all of a sudden, this game was up for grabs. And then fast forward into the second half, it was shot for shot basically. It was if you can shoot, I can do it down the other end. And really, Sean McDonald didn't die wondering, did he, JB? It was some clutch shots in that fourth quarter that really kept the Thunder in it, and in the end, Sam McDaniel come up huge with a massive 3 from about top of the key, near 45 area, which really got the crowd on their feet. In one of the biggest crowds of the year at the Kingborough Sports Centre, Hobart were able to prevail 87-83, which now puts Hobart in the top spot, and they will face Sandringham coming up on Saturday night. So that's a huge win for Anthony Stewart. He was pumped, he was fired up after the game, and even after that, Sam McDaniel 3. He loved it, and great to see Sam McDaniel's Jack Jumpers teammates there. A lot of the JJs were in the building, along with a very strong, probably 1,000 people, I reckon, nearly in the building, JB. It was a game to remember, and when you want a derby like that, those are the ones that you want to look back on and say, hey, I was there for that one.
Anthony Stewart was very reflective in his post-game. We managed to grab an interview with him as well.
I am very happy with that, Aaron. It's been a worrying time, and Thunder were awesome tonight. They really played well. They played hard. They tested us right down to the wire. And how big was Sammy Mack, Ollie, Angerstein, Bairstow, Harry, all those guys, and then AJ came up big in the fourth with Jamar. So it's just good to watch. Some big dunks down here. It was fun. It was awesome. Huge crowd. I think now we've got playoffs, so we've got the qualifying final next week. Not sure who against yet, but if we can take care of that, it's the pre-final at home and then off to Melbourne for a grand final. So let's hope. We just got to keep playing. We're a bit unorganised tonight with Sammy Mack coming back. It's not easy, but a lot of faith in this group and see how far we can go. We've had the team. We've got a lot of studs in this team, and there is a lot of pressure to perform. So, I mean, we lose that, we're going to Mount Gambier next week. Now, who wants to go to Mount Gambier? I think a couple of massive dunks with Ollie, and then Sam Mack with his pull-up three, and then Jamar. I think that shocked Thunder when he went baseline and went and dunked it over the people. It was like, wow, this is awesome. It's just good to get 2 home finals. The crowd, we got the best crowd in the league, best sponsors. We could not be happy. I'm sure our president from Mackay Timbers will be very excited to get 2 home finals.
And of course, coming off the back of a leading game there for Sam McDaniel, we got him post-game for an interview and he was pretty pumped and pretty chuffed with his efforts.
Well, after hitting that big 3 in that fourth quarter, JB, I reckon he was. Let's go to that interview right now.
Crowd was incredible. Bit of a rivalry game there and an important game at the end of the season. Yeah, a lot of fun to be a part of. A couple of great players, obviously from the Jack Jumpers on the other team, and yeah, made for a fun atmosphere and a fun game. Like I just said, I was just trying to shoot the ball with confidence, something that I've been working on this off-season, so I was glad that I was able to do that tonight. Yeah, excited to come back and play in front of this crowd again. First time for me, even just being overseas and experiencing a little bit of a different culture over there. Was exciting, an incredible experience. Anytime you get to represent your country on that stage, it's a blessing. So I was very fortunate to be over there and I enjoyed it.
At Wilson Homes, we've been building the Australian dream for over 30 years. And today, this purpose is more important to us than ever before. That's why we're going to keep building the homes that define our way of life. So don't lose sight of your dream, because we're going to keep building for you.
Back here in the Chargers Hoops TV studio, and of course this season and every episode would not be possible without our great sponsors for 2022. Of course, we've got Mackay's Timber, Gap, the Greyhound Adoption Program, and as we all have come to love it, the What's On app, everyone's favourite app, Ronnie's favourite app.
Yes.
What have you got this week, Ronnie?
Well, I'll tell you what, JB. Now, you can't get your tickets on the app for this week. There's a different link to that, which we'll mention shortly, but I'm going for the app right now. And this Tasmanian Wine Festival Winter Edition is very, very intriguing to me. So I might head down. I may bring Chamar Sanderford and H.A. Harris down, because I tell you what, they don't mind their wine drinking a little bit too. We're going to go look at the dinner from the other night, JB. So, but hey, you can check out the What's On app. You can check out some videos on there. Check out the gig guide. Everything and anything in there. So make sure you check it out.
Check out the What's On app.
Made by nature, created by innovators, supplied by Mackay's, your home of Tasmanian timber.
And of course, the hoops didn't stop on Friday night, Ronnie. We rolled into Saturday night as well with the Mackay Timber Hobart Chargers annual awards night, end of year 2022. A few players being recognised for their efforts, coaches speaking on behalf of the teams there, hearing from the president as well, a couple of guests. It was a great evening out at the Elwick Racecourse.
It certainly was, JB. A fantastic night to celebrate the season and to get together, and not for both groups, but also too for the general public and volunteers and co, and also in that regard. In the women's, it was Angela Tompkins that took out the MVP for the women's award. It was well deserved. She has had a fantastic season, and Zoe Banks was named Coach's Award. Of course, Zoe has been working her backside off throughout this season, JB, and it's been marvellous to see. So that was well deserved. On the men's side, it was Harry Froling as the MVP. I think that was a no-brainer as far as we're all concerned here in the studio, JB. Harry has had a tremendous season and it goes to show why he's been picked up by the Brisbane Bullets in the NBL. And the Coach's Award went to Ollie Angerstein. Ollie has had a breakout season for his first year of high elite basketball, and the dunking machine has had some dunks to remember, and I tell you what, just an all-round nice guy. And Rod Turner had to even get on a chair and take his photo. That's all he was. But no, a fantastic night out at Ladbrokes Park there down at the Elwick Racecourse, and enjoyed by all. And JB, what a night it was.
It was a real wham bam jam. Thank you, ma'am. A great evening at the Elwick Racecourse. Of course, the big game coming up now, Ronnie, this Saturday night. Again, it will be this Saturday night, and we're heading out to Creek Road, heading to the Southern Tasmanian Netball Centre there, the old home of the Hobart Chargers back in the day, for the qualifying final against the Sandringham Sabres. Now, we did take on the Sabres a couple of weeks ago. They were missing Tom Wright. We were missing Harry Froling and Sam McDaniel as well. All of those players expected to be back and expected to be playing this Saturday night. It's going to be an absolute bumper game of basketball, Ronnie. How can people get there? How can people view it? Where can they get their tickets? It's going to be massive.
It is going to be massive, JB. You need to head on to our website, which is www.hobartchargers.com.au/tickets. And of course, we'll have a link as well too on our social media posts as well too every time that we post onto the Chargers social, so then everyone knows where you can get your tickets from. And tickets are selling fast, by the way, so get your tickets in early, because this will be the hottest ticket in town, that is for sure. If you can't make it to the game, you can watch it via the NBL One website or the NBL One app. We're not sure if this game will be on KO Freebies as well too. We'll have more confirmation during the week for that, but you can still watch us online, wherever you might be watching around the country or even around the world. And I'll tell you what, JB, this game is going to be an absolute barn burner, as you say. Both teams will be at full strength for those welcome additions on both sides. The last time, of course, Sandringham were down here, it was the Shea Illy and Toby Smith-Milner's show. Of course, Smith-Milner just killing us from three-point land. He didn't die wondering, for that matter of fact. And Sandringham will come into this game full of confidence, regardless of finishing fourth spot. They'll have Hobart scouted. I'm sure Hobart this time will be ready to try and shut down the likes of Shea Illy, Smith-Milner, Tommy Wright, who's a former Chargers player, by the way, as well too, JB. And look, the home crowd is going to come into this as well too. We have another packed house at the old Creek Road Stadium. And of course, I remember some games there where it was really packed out, and it is a tremendous atmosphere as well too. I think that will play a bit of a part as well. But Hobart will come in guns blazing, of course, with Harry Froling in good form, Sam McDaniel in good form, and Bairstow in good form, and then back it up with all the locals as well too. I expect Ollie Angerstein to have a big game as well. He'll be a dunking force to be reckoned with. I reckon he'll get one on Smith-Milner, by the way, as well too. So a lot to play for in this qualifying final. Winner will go through to our home prelim final, or we'll go through to a semi-final for the losers as well too. So JB, what are your thoughts on the game?
Going to be a huge game. I'm really looking to the two key matchups, which I think are going to be McDaniel on Ely defensively. That's going to be a massive matchup. Both players known to come off the bench in the NBL, so they play a very similar role. McDaniel coming into his offensive end, and Shea Ely's probably in the All-Star 5 for the South this season, such as he's playing. Big Smith-Milner taking on Big Froling. This is going to be a huge matchup as well, and could be the defining matchup of this game as well, depending on who can start hitting the outside shot, who's going to play down low. It's going to be a huge matchup, a huge game, a massive crowd. Creek Road, get your tickets, trybooking.com, of course, through hobartchargers.com.au/tickets. Get on the NBL One app, get on the NBL One website to tune in, check it out. It's going to be huge this Saturday, August 20th, 8 p.m. tip-off at Creek Road. We will see you there. This has been another edition of Chargers Hoops TV. On behalf of Ronnie Riggs, I'm Justin Bryan, and we can't wait to see you at the game Saturday.